In this explainer, we're diving into a truly profound question about time, and more importantly, intention. Now, we aren't going to dwell on the medical context of the diagnosis today. That's really just the background noise. Instead, we're exploring a beautiful story about what one person deliberately chooses to do with the time they have left. Let's get right into it.
So I want to ask you a question. What do you do with 6 months? Just let the heavy weight of that settle for a second. It's honestly the ultimate question of intentionality, isn't it? Our focus today centers entirely on a 52-year-old man named Imran. He was handed a terminal diagnosis, but our story today is strictly about how Imran decided to answer that exact question.
Imran was just 52 years old when his doctor told him he had 6 months left, maybe 8, tops. Right after hearing this life-altering news, he drove home totally alone. He pulled into his driveway, put the car in park, turned off the engine, and he just sat there, completely still. Then, after that long silence, he reached over, picked up a notebook, and the writing began. You know, when faced with a timeline like Imran's, the knee-jerk reaction for so many of us is to write out that classic bucket list, right? Grand escapes, skydiving, rushing around foreign cities. But Imran, he made a totally different kind of list. His wasn't about running away or big, flashy adventures. It was made up entirely of quiet things, overdue things. It was all about deliberate, focused human connections. The very first item on his list, 2 hours and 40 minutes. You see, Imran picked up his phone and finally called his estranged brother. They literally hadn't spoken a proper word to each other in 4 whole years. Just think about that massive gap of time for a moment. But sitting there in the warm evening light, Imran made the call. It took a 2-hour and 40-minute conversation, but they bridged that 4 years silence. The next item on his list, 3 Fridays. Imran went over to his mother's house and asked her to teach him how to make her famous Friday lamb curry. It was something he'd never actually asked to learn before. And over the next 3 weeks, they spent 3 incredibly precious Fridays together in her warm, cozy kitchen. Just hands stirring the pot, sharing laughs, soaking in that shared warmth. It was an act of quiet, beautiful purpose. He also prepared 3 sealed envelopes, 1 personal letter for each of his 3 children. But listen, these were absolutely not goodbye letters. Not at all. They were letters about who his kids were. He wrote down all the amazing things he saw in them that they might not even see in themselves yet. He sealed them up, handed them to his wife, and gave her one simple instruction: not now, when they need them. And then, believe it or not, he went right back to work. For 4 more months, Imran got up and went to the office every single day. And he didn't do it because he had to financially. He did it simply because the work mattered to him. The people in that office mattered to him. He took the totally ordinary act of walking into work and made it deeply significant, simply because he decided he wasn't quite done yet. Finally, he planted a row of jasmine. Imran went out to the back fence of his yard, got his hands deep in the soil, and planted those green leaves right against the afternoon light. Now, he did this knowing full well he might never live to see that jasmine fully bloom. But the beautiful, incredibly hopeful choice here is that he planted it anyway. Now, here's the thing. Imran didn't live 6 months. He didn't live 8 months either. He lived for 9 months, and every single one of those 9 months was filled to the brim with the quiet, deliberate choices we just explored together. And honestly, that is the pure essence of intentional living, right? Acting with quiet, unwavering purpose. At Imran's funeral, his brother stood up and actually read the letter Imran had written for his eldest son. And if you looked at the faces in that room, they didn't just show grief. Someone in the back literally had their hand over their mouth in profound recognition. Absolutely nobody in that room failed to understand exactly what intentional living looks like when they heard his words. That blooming jasmine on his back fence, that is the kept promise of a life well chosen. Because, as it turns out, he did not spend his 6 months preparing to leave. He spent them learning how to have been here.